Yo, yo. Here today with some of my buds. Got my buddy, my BFF, my big fat friend forever, Jesse Burdick back there. And then we also have strength coach Cal Dietz in the house today. And Cal is going to show us a bunch of really cool, interesting things. He's a big believer in a lot of the energy and a lot of the strength that we're looking for, and even a lot of the corrective things that we can do for our hips, for our knees, for our ankles, even all the way up through your shoulder. A lot of this stuff is coming from our feet. And so he's going to show us some stuff that you guys have just never seen before. So I'm excited for Cal to unleash all these cool things, even though they're probably going to be pretty painful.
Oh my God, I don't recognize you.
How's it going this morning, Snuggle Tish?
Talking to me or Jesse?
What's up, man?
Hey, bud.
Looking handsome.
Good to see you. How are things?
Oh, you're like a big old bear. Thanks, bud. How's it going, man? Great to have you here.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me. Yeah. Okay, so today at the Super Training Gym, I saw Mark walk in the door, and what we had was a little bit of lateral sling problems, which I would call. So, and he doesn't really know what that is yet. We're going to explain that to him. And then what's going to transpire is athletically, I would let him know what would his problems be, his ability to change direction. I'm sure he's good straight ahead, but right now his ability to change direction is not optimized, and that's what we're going to do. Is we're going to optimize him today with a little bit of RPR, show him how to take care of himself, because that's our goal. Is if I have 100 athletes in here, I can't manage them all myself with RPR. That's why we have the athletes do the RPR themselves. So we're going to hit his key points, teach him RPR today so that he can have a great understanding of how to manage his own pain, his own injury prevention, and everything along those guidelines so he can keep training hard. So let's jump up here real quick. Head down there on your back. Yeah. So the lateral sling, remember, is this hip musculature that runs all the way down and all the way across the upper body. So what I'm going to do is check abduction, adduction, okay? And what we're going to do, Mark, is I'm going to hold your leg out there. You're going to hold it there, okay, and you're not going to let me push it in, okay? Ready? Hold. Strong guy, but he doesn't have a whole lot. Ready? One more time. Ready? Is that all you got?
I got nothing.
Okay, so he's got nothing, all right? So let's check the other side. Ready?
This side will be worse.
Hold. And he's officially right, okay? That side, there's not much. Now, why is lateral sling important? We'll talk through a couple things, but his stability. If he was gonna jog at us, towards us, what happens if this musculature here in the hip can't support you, you will sneak this foot underneath you. So when people run, one foot placed in front of the other, this is a sign the lateral sling's off, which then is also tell me that his lat was off, okay? So we'll do abduction. So I'm gonna turn in your leg and I'm gonna pull out, just see how strong your groin is, okay? Ready? Hold. Nothing there, right? You hurt that at one point? Yep.
Yeah, this side's
okay. And now we're gonna turn this leg in and pull out. Ready? Hold. There's really not much there as strong as he is. Now, where in sports is this important? If he would go change directions, he can't change directions as well as he normally could. If he's going to try to block somebody in football, his body won't let his hips get super low because there's no stability, so he'll play higher, okay? So we're going to try to get him to fix these problems himself. You want to sit up? Sure. All right.
Yeah, even just being more efficient, period, though, with my squats and the movements that I am doing, right? It's just going to be
so here's the crazy thing. If one of these were bad and one was good, when he squat, let's say your right one is good and your left one's bad, what will happen when you squat, you would come down and then this one turns on and it'll hit you. You'll hitch to the right. So then what you know is the left side's bad. So in RPR, one of the quick fixes I'll have my athletes do if I see them squatting and they shift at the bottom, is all they would do is stand here and pound on this. And they'll go back in the next rep and guess what happens? It stabilizes it, okay? So there's two things that can be, here's my big thing, the two things that can be wrong with the lateral sling. It can be the hip, or the main cause can be the feet, and it's really the arch. So what we're gonna have Mark do is we're gonna have him work on his arch reset, the RPR reset, which starts at the middle of the calf, right to the head of this bone, and you're just gonna rub on the inside, nice and hard, right through there. Do you feel how uncomfortable that is? I want you to rub really hard.
Got it.
Just
kind of right in here?
Yep, right up there. It's just from the very top of the midline of the calf all the way across. Ooh. Yep, got it. Go ahead. Now just dig in with your thumb and then just go just about 2 or 3 inches all the way across.
Damn.
Didn't know that was that hard, huh?
Yeah, what did you see that made you decide, or made you say like, oh, it's definitely calf opposed to, you know, kind of a quad?
Right, or hip.
Right.
Well, what I saw was that the way his foot functions when he walks, right? So there's some collapsing there. Now,
And big juicy calves as well.
yeah, and now here's the thing. It may not be his arch, but if I do the arch reset right now and it doesn't fix it, then we know it's a hip problem, right? But if it does fix it, majority of his problems stem from his feet. All right. So let's lay back and just see if this one's turned on. All right. So let's see if he created any stability by activating. Ready? Hold. You feel that?
Yeah.
He locks. He can now stabilize his hip. So before he had nothing. He was probably a 2 or 3 on a 10 scale. Hold. And he locks in. Do you feel how fast you lock in?
Yeah. That's fucking
It's
fine.
crazy. Let's see if his groin's better. Ready? Internally rotate. Ready? Hold. There you go.
Wow.
Okay? So he had an arch problem, which can cause hip problems. Because if this arch collapses, again, every time he hits the ground, his body will lock down and shut off various muscles in his hip. Okay? So I want you to do the other side.
Yep.
And then we're going to get you up and walk. Okay?
It's weird because back here, I'm not feeling a lot. But I mean, it's not comfortable because I'm digging my thumb into the back of my knee, you know. But it's not insane.
And this is his first time. We're going to let him crank on a little bit. Normally it takes like 3 to 5 seconds. Once he gets used to it, your body will activate really quick. Just make sure you get up to, right around there. You feel it? Okay. So then let's test him. Okay.
That to describe that, it just feels like my skin is being like irritated, almost like an Indian burn. Like it feels like that, if I'm allowed to say Indian burn.
Yeah. I would say you go in there and you push how hard? Probably until you feel like a little resistance back on the tissue.
Right.
I tell people like you push into a steak. Okay, so you push into a steak and feel where it resists. And then the next thing you would do is just make sure, to make it so maybe you don't get so much burn. Some people like rub over the skin. I want you to grab the skin and just push in so that you don't scrape the skin. You stay on the same spot and move the skin a little bit, okay? So you would move the skin like that versus going like this, okay? So let's see if we helped with his stability. Ready? Hold. And we locked it in. Now this is a groin injured, right?
Yeah.
So we may not have any luck because there's an old injury, but we'll see if the, ready? Hold. It's not as good, but it's way better.
Yeah.
It's not perfect like that one. Does that make sense? Now, I want you to get up. I want you to walk and see if you feel. Just take a quick walk.
like a new woman. Oh yeah.
You feel more stability? So I see his hands aren't as twisted right now. So when he walked before, they were more in line like this. And now when he walking, we haven't fixed the whole thing, but the hands have turned out so that now he has more stability.
I don't feel like I'm walking. It feels like I'm almost like floating. It feels really strange.
Because I think what it does is it kind of turns on.
Feels like someone else is moving my legs for me.
So you don't have to think about walking. You think about propelling yourself forward and compensate for it. You just kind of go forward.
It's like he woke up from a
So you said it.
nap.
Okay, you said it. The only thing we touch the ground when we walk is our feet.
You're right.
And your arches were weak. And that turned on the arches. Okay. So now, how long?
So now I got something for my 10-minute walks.
Yeah, right before.
Yeah.
Exactly. So then let's turn on the hips. Okay. So the hip reset is I just want you to go on the inside of the PSI or the ASIS and just kind of rub right inside there. You feel that area right there? Just rub right inside there, and that'll actually reiterate and activate the hip musculature.
Oh, it makes me feel like you're gonna barf a little bit.
So his are really bad, and over time they'll get better. He'll have less discomfort when he does this.
You gotta try to relax to get in there, otherwise, just push him up.
Obviously, and we'll cover breathing, but breathing during this is important because then you can help the tissue release. All right, you should be good on that side, and then the other side. You got both sides.
So my hip bone's here, and then I'm going
on the inside, just right there.
Got it.
Now, remember, if you see an athlete shifting in their squat, you would have them do these during the weightlifting session.
It'd be a good idea to take pressure off this side with your foot, just to kind of loosen it up.
Yeah, so you loosen the tissue. So, because if you're standing, then everything tightens up. So if you unloosen it. Good. Now, if we checked his balance, it would be better. I couldn't mock him off if he could play lower as an athlete, because his body, so the problem is if your foot's unstable in your arch, your body will not let you get as low as you can because it's a protective mechanism, okay? Because your body says this is a bad position, so you'll have to play higher, and then you can't make changes in direction, all right?
So maybe even setting up for a deadlift, maybe I can get my hips a little lower.
Exactly, because the body's saying this is not a good position, I'm unstable in there. So take another walk, see if that helps you. Then we're gonna get those glutes going. What do you think?
That's the ticket.
Jesse? He looks a little lighter and springier right now, doesn't he?
Well, I think he's taking probably, if we would have measured it, his gait's probably 3, 4, or 5 inches, you know, longer. He's also standing up a lot more. You can actually see his hips starting to come through a little bit better as well at the top. Because usually I think it was it was this.
Right. So Jesse talked about his gait maybe a little longer, and the reason is because if your feet are unstable, your body will restrict on how much the positions you get into. So I found that athletes that are running and they're short striding their acceleration, a lot of times their feet can't absorb the impact of each strike, so your body kind of shortens your strides up. So people talk about short striding acceleration, a lot of times it can be your feet. So then, can I help you with your walking?
Absolutely.
A little bit?
Absolutely.
Right. So I want to teach you one thing. So here's the deal. I want you to do an RDL, take your toes, and let's just do a straight leg deadlift or an RDL. Keep your toes up the whole time. 2 reps, see how it feels. Yep, got it? Okay, so now, Mark, I want you to go down, and I want you to take that foot, and I want you to, on your way up, I want you to grab that toe and have it squeeze into the ground as hard as you can, and then on the way up, after you squeeze, come up and see what you feel.
So toes.
Go down on the way, yep, toes down. Now, squeeze hard with your toes.
Push them in.
Squeeze hard and push them into the ground, break the ground, and then come up. Feel your glutes turn on?
Yeah.
Okay. One more time. Toes up, squeeze, toes down. Feel your glutes turn on?
Yeah, it feels like I'm gonna almost like run.
Run, exactly. So when you walk, I need your toe to grab the ground and push you forward. Okay, so when you take your step, that toe grabs the ground and it helps, squeezes the ground and it pushes you forward. Got it?
Got it.
Work on that pattern.
I've had a lot of people show me a lot of different things, and it's like what it does for me, the reward isn't great enough for me to mess around with the time it takes to do it. Or at least maybe it's a block in my own head or closed-mindedness, right? Of I don't want to do this particular stretch because I don't like stretch. Like I have zero interest in it. What I do have interest in is moving better. But again, with some of the mobility stuff and mobility drills, I feel like the payoff is so low. With what you just showed me, it wouldn't make sense for me to not do it.
Right.
Because it was so simple. It didn't require much. And it changed a lot of components of how I feel instantly.
Okay, you go.
There, Mark.
Right here. I was standing here the whole time.
I thought that was your head, actually.
Yeah, is it that big? Come on, man.
It's just scale.
Come on, man.
Can I get you guys to scoot in real quick?
All right.
Whoa, I just stepped on something. As a little kid.
One, 2, 3. All right, 1, 2, 3. And one more. 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
He doesn't even notice it anymore.
Your faces? No, no one cares.
Nope.
No one cares. There's there's anything that you want to
as I go.
Scribble down.
Anything that you want to go over a little bit more.
Take half and save the half for later.
A little bit, kind of throw it out there. Talk about speed, and we'll talk about.
I've noticed, like, even if I take half, I get a good nice. I don't have to take the whole thing, and I can use the other one during a training session or something.
Anything else?
We'll keep.
We can just pass notes back and forth. Right. Is note passing acceptable on the podcast, or are we going to get in trouble?
On my way home from Super Training Gym, the strongest gym in the West, had an amazing day today with Cal Dietz, the strength coach at the University of Minnesota. He was absolutely phenomenal, fantastic. Hung out with my boy, Jesse Burdick, who you'll see at dinner with me tonight as well, which I'm super excited to have an opportunity to sit down with my friend. Jesse Burdick has literally saved my life many times over. I love the guy. I love his family. He and I have been friends for, I think, like 15 years now, and it feels great to be around him. You know, I really do love and admire him, and it's, you know, when your life gets busy and you can't be around your buds, sometimes it kind of sucks. His life's been busy, my life's been busy, but then every time we get around each other, we're just like, you know what? Like, it's a bunch of bullshit about being busy. We're not really that busy. We need to make time for each other. So it's great to have him in town. I'm fired up and pumped about it. He's excited about it. We got to share a lot of great stuff today. He was on the podcast with me as well. I need to just kind of have him back on the podcast just to kind of check in on him and see what's going on in his life, to give some of you guys some insight on what's going on with him as well. Jesse has also been doing programming and helping me with diet and helping me with strength training and bodybuilding, mobility, rehab, prevention, rehabilitation of an injury, all this different stuff. I mean, he's been doing it behind the scenes for years, and he does the programming for Super Training Gym, and he's been doing that for years, and super appreciative of him. A wealth of knowledge. Check him out on Instagram, Jesse Burdick. Anyway, I had a good session today, you know, podcasting and doing a bunch of stuff with Cal Dietz. He showed us a single leg split squat with the safety bar, which was really cool. I worked my way up to 315. That felt good. I'm gonna push that exercise a bit because it felt like it could be of great benefit to me. So it's gonna be something I'm gonna utilize coming up. In some other news, my boy, Jordan Syatt is on the carnivore diet. I think today, fat boy on a diet, don't try it. My boy Jordan Syatt, he's giving it a go, man. He's doing the carnivore diet. I can't believe it. Here we go. You know, we've gotten another soldier in the carnivore diet. I'm super excited about that. And he has a great audience. He's got a lot of people, a lot of eyeballs on Jordan's side. If you're not following him, please follow him on Instagram as well. He has a YouTube channel. But it's great for me to be able to give him information on this particular diet. He's a calorie counter. He's way into all that kind of stuff. And he's the kind of guy who says, hey, look, man, a calorie is a calorie. There's no denying it. And I don't agree with him on a lot of different things, but we're friends. We're very, very good friends. He's somebody I vibe with a lot. He's somebody I got great respect for, and another great friend in the fitness community. But what an awesome opportunity it is to have somebody like him on the carnivore diet, because he's going to be pulling more people in to the carnivore diet as well. And that gets me fired up and excited. And again, I'm never trying to... I want people to try the carnivore diet, and I want people to see how it works for them. But I'm not trying to change. I don't like the word change. I'm not trying to change your life necessarily. I'm trying to have a positive impact on your life. So I'm hoping, it is my hope and my dream that some of the things that I say are influences of yours, but I'm not trying to switch you over to any particular messages or agenda that I have. And that's a mistake I've made in the past, and I can admit to recognizing that. And I had expectations that were unrealistic for my audience, in thinking that I'm going to make you believe or see my point of view every single time. I mean, it's just never been done in the history of the world. I've mentioned this before. When it comes to interpretation, different people will interpret things different ways, and there's never been a message said by anyone, even if it comes from the Bible, that has been interpreted the same way by everyone. And it's something I made a mistake of, and I'm willing to admit that that is not a good way to conduct myself. And so I'm trying to be more positive. I'm trying to be less triggered. You know, that's a 2020 goal, to be untriggerable, if that's a word. That's something that I'm really going for, something I'm shooting for, something I'm gunning for. But Jordan, welcome to the party, pal. I'm going to shoot a separate video just for Jordan so he knows what to do on this carnivore diet. You guys already know what it is, but I'll fill you in again real shortly. We're eating meat, any kind of meat. Can be fish, can be salmon, it could be trout, it could be lobster, it could be shrimp. You could have steak, you could have elk, bison, cow, chicken, you know, any type of meat that you want, any meat that you can think of. It doesn't matter what kind of meat it is, you can have any meat that you want. You do want to have meats that are, you know, that have a good amount of macronutrients in them, as well as micronutrients, and so that's why things like chicken, like really lean chicken and really lean turkey, might not be your best bets, but you can still eat them. You're also allowed some dairy. I would say cheese is fine, and I would say butter is okay. I would watch out for cheese, and I'd watch out for heavy cream, because it's easy to really overeat on those butters. Hopefully you use butter, like a pat of butter, you know, here and there, not a big deal. But some of the other dairy products, you might have a tendency to overeat, especially when it comes to something like milk. So you might want to be cautious of that, because it can cause some weight gain. But we got meat, whatever kind of meat you want, and eggs. It's pretty much what we're eating. And you want to have some bone broth in there, you can try that as well. And if you really want to be tight and you really want to be strict on the carnivore diet, you go steak and eggs a couple times a day with some salt. And that's all you have in your diet. Now, other things that you can add in there, that you can slap into the diet, you can add spices. And for me personally, I think that you're still on a carnivore diet, even if you have some small influences of, you know, a pickle on a hamburger. Or I'm not too overly concerned about these things, so I think it gets to be too nitpicky. But if you're really trying the diet out for the first time, you want to really give it a go 100%. And it's a good idea to try to eliminate all plants. And that's why for the month of January, I even ditched coffee. And I only had tea like a couple times during the month. I think it was in the beginning of the month, and then I went I went about 3 or 4 weeks without any plants of any kind, really showing up in anything except for a little bit in some of the spices that I have. And then also too, you keep in mind that when we're talking about, almost went the wrong way. When we're talking about things that aren't meat and things that aren't coming from a cow, then we also have to talk about processed cheese. So those of you that got triggered from some of the stuff that I said about how I had a salad one day, everybody lost their mind. You got to keep in mind that the carnivore diet, you know, the burgers that you get from In-N-Out and stuff like that, those burgers are actually meat. They're 100% meat, and they're never frozen. The burgers from In-N-Out might be even higher quality than what you get at your local grocery store. That's why I advise a lot of you to go to butcher shops. Anyway, that's another topic for another day. The cheese that you're getting from those places have a lot of crap in them that aren't carnivore. So, and I don't have any problem with that. I'm simply pointing out the fact that you guys hopped on me, you know, for that one meal that I had that had some veggies in it. And I might eat some veggies tonight, because the place I'm going to might serve up a couple veggies, so I might just eat them again, just as a filler. I'm trying to eat a little bit less fat for the week. I know that some of you are very religious about this and very monotonous and militant about this. I do not share the same approach. All the things I want for me and all the things I want for you guys is to get results. That's what my obsession is. That's what I'm into. I want to see you guys get results. How do we get results? Well, we get results by following a certain protocol, but how strict do we really have to be? It's hard to say. Anyway, I don't like to argue. I don't like to get triggered. I don't like to be inflammatory about any of it. But if you're trying the carnivore diet and you really want to give it a good, honest shot, an honest handshake, then it's a great idea to try to cut out all other forms of stuff for a while. Anyway, going to eat right now with my BFF and my family. Catch you guys in a few minutes. Just ate with my boy, Jesse Burdick, my son, and my wifey. My daughter didn't make it out. She ain't feeling so good. I think she's got a little bit of a cold. Anyway, had a good meal, ate some steak. At Bud's, they have what they call steak tips. I ate some of those. And then I had a New York strip. I'm probably gonna have one more meal for today. I didn't record anything just now because just chilling with my bud and didn't want the phone out. Just wanted some time to ourselves. And then I think I forgot to record. I had steak and eggs in the car this morning while my son was driving himself to school. He just has his permit still, doesn't have his full license yet. Soon he'll have his full license and I won't have to drive him to school anymore, which will be awesome. But anyway, I had some steak and some egg whites. Again, remember, trying to drop those fat cows a little bit just for the next couple days, just to reduce the caloric intake a bit. Probably tomorrow I'll get in some good fasting. Got a lot of work to do, a lot of business stuff tomorrow. And I didn't really train today. I did some stuff today, lifting wise, but not a full training session. So I'll probably lift tomorrow too, along with being on Sean Baker's podcast. I have a couple of meetings, and I think I got my own podcast to do as well. So tomorrow will be lots of good stuff going on. Heading back home. Here I am in my editing bay, which is my bed. This is how I edit most of these videos. Sometimes I'm sitting at the kitchen table, living room table, but most of this stuff is edited just like this, right before I go to bed. It's uploaded in the middle of the night when I go to use the bathroom. It's uploaded to YouTube, and then it goes over to Carlos, who sees it in the morning, and uploads it fresh for you guys every single morning at 7 o'clock. All this in an attempt to inform the world of some different ideas and concepts on how you can diet. Just to give you guys some simple information, some simple advice to see how somebody is living their life with their diet, and how you can live your life with your diet. Tomorrow will be another day, and keep kicking ass on your carnivore-ness, and have a great night. Strength is never a weakness. Weakness is never a strength. Catch y'all later. Oh, shit. I hit the button too early. I almost forgot this.